When I started my first service-based business about 20 years ago, it was so much fun. We grew the company. We had great customers. Everything was going pretty well, working 78 hours a week, working 7 days a week, and really working on growth all the time. And at the time, I didn't know what I was doing. I was just trying to figure it out as I went. Sales and marketing was not exactly my strongest suit back then, and I gave up so many good opportunities to grow. And honestly, I was left with a lot of moments of frustration, stress, concern about how we were going to make payroll and how we're going to buy next month's materials and a lot of concerns like that. But because I was, young and full of energy and willing to make it happen, we always made it happen. But I always hit these plateaus of growth that took a long time to figure out. And knowing what I know now, 20 years later, having built, grew, and sold 4 different companies, if I could go back in time and give myself the advice that I'm about to give you in this video, I definitely would. And it would help so much. But my experience is our benefit right now. I operate differently now. Maybe you're operating differently at your tenure in your business, or maybe this video will help you uncover some ways that you can really start to, solve some of these revenue plateaus that you've been at and these growth plateaus to put more profit through the business and right into your personal bank account. So in this video, we're going to discuss the 9 most common reasons why a service-based business fails to grow to its potential. We're also going to talk about ways that we can avoid it as well. Here we go with the number 1 reason, in no particular order actually, reason why people that own service-based businesses are failing to grow. So number 1 is there's no differentiation in the market. So you built your business probably in the eye or the desired inspiration of other businesses in that particular niche and industry. And therefore, you built a business that is running now and it's probably going fairly well, but you're here because you want even more growth and you want the business to be better and more profit. But there's no differentiation in your business. I call this the Me Too theory. So you and all of your competitors, when talking to the same customer, you could say, oh yes, this company does that. Yes, me too. I also do that. Oh, this company, this competitor of ours does this. Oh yes, me too. I also do that. So you're in a Me Too economy, or we could call it, after this great book called Blue Ocean, it's the red economy. So I think a lot of us are operating our service-based business in a red economy. We have no differentiation. The consumer doesn't actually know why we are special, why we are better than the competition, why we are the only choice to solve that problem that they have today that they are looking for help with through a product or a service. We don't do that. We don't share that. So there's 2 parts of this that we can fix. Number 1, let's look within. Let's look within the company and figure out what are we already doing that's amazing that we're not telling anybody about. We already have this amazing guarantee. We already have this amazing offer. We already have this amazing set of employees. We already have this amazing, unique partnership with another company. There could be so many things you're already doing, but you're not telling the market through your marketing and your sales consistently that you are doing these things and offering these things to make sure that people know that you are different already and already better. So that's step 1. Step 2 in the differentiation process is we need to identify areas of the business that we can improve. We need to make great improvements in small areas of the business, one at a time, build the standard operating procedures, invest in the infrastructure, the people, whatever it has to be, the content, the process, the automation, the systemization, invest in whatever has to be done to make sure that that thing, that new piece of unique value that goes inside your unique selling proposition becomes very, very true. The reason why we want it to be true is we, want to be able to tell the market about why we're so great and the things that we're doing. Number 2, we want our customers to experience this new great feature or value that you're offering. And number 3, on the back end, we want customers to actually give a referral talking about that amazing thing that they got that they weren't able to get anywhere else. So that's how we really look at differentiation. But please, let's make sure that we do not look like everybody else and we are not stuck in a Me Too economy. By getting out of the Me Too economy, you will not only attract more business and close more business and get more profit because you can charge potentially higher rates when you are truly unique in the industry or in that particular market. We also get really excited about the business. And for many service-based entrepreneurs that have been doing it for a while, that is a gift in itself that you are re-energized in the business. So let's start with that. Let's solve this differentiation issue in your company once and for all. Number 2 in the 9 reasons is inconsistent lead generation. This is usually number one for the people that I work with, the people, entrepreneurs that I talk to. They come to me and they say, I just need more leads. If I got more leads, all my problems would be solved. As we're going to look with the other 8 things that we're going to talk about in this video, the other 8 reasons why service businesses don't grow as much as they want, we're going to find out that inconsistent lead generation is not the only problem, but for many of you, it feels like it's number one, and it is very high on my list as well. So it's kind of like you're living this feast or famine, and you don't actually know next month or 3 months from now or 6 months from now, what should the leads be, and how can you articulate why they're probably going to be at that number, let's say give or take 10%. So you have no confidence in what's happening because you're really word of mouth type of business, the way that you market yourself and get leads, or you might get leads from people asking questions in the community on Facebook, maybe the odd referral from a past client, but overall, it's really feast or famine, word of mouth. So there's 3 things. Three things? Yes, 3 things you need to do to counteract this. And there are 3 buckets that you need to stay focused on in marketing. And trust me, there's a million things you could do when it comes to marketing and lead gen. And experts around the globe will probably tell you there's all these things you can do, and you can literally scratch your head for weeks, months, years trying to figure out all this stuff. But if you focus on these 3 areas, you're going to do pretty well. So the first area is you need organic content. So you need to get your social media accounts, at least where your target market is spending their time online. You need to be on those accounts, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, whatever accounts they're on, Twitter or X, you need to be where they're at. And then you need to be creating content using, let's say, 3 to 4 content pillars that give you different types of content, themes that you know your target customer will appreciate. And there's lots of ways to figure this out. You can use AI, you can go online, you can get in forums. This is not that hard. But we need to start posting regularly valuable, engaging content for our target market. So that's number 1. Number 2, we got to start doing ads. We've got to do ads at some level. Start small. It's okay. We're all scared of ads in the service-based business. If you've never done ads before, it's terrifying. If you have been doing ads, you're worried and concerned that you're not getting the best return on the investment, and therefore you're worried and concerned about spending even more. Let's just get it going. You need to be seen by your target customers. If they don't know that you're there for them when they're trying to figure out a problem, how on earth are they going to contact you and become a lead? We need to make this investment. You need to find the funds, the dollars, the money in the business in order to start doing these paid ads. And they could be Facebook, they could be Instagram, they could be LinkedIn. We need to just be where our customers are. And number 3, which is often overlooked, we need to be networking and doing outreach. We need to be going to events on and offline that have our customer base there. We need to be talking with strategic partners that maybe serve our target customer base in a different way and start to do some collaborations on content, on packaging, on pricing, on infrastructure, whatever it takes. We need to get ourselves swimming in different ponds where our target customer is also swimming. And we need to activate that on and offline. So those are the 3 buckets that I would focus on. If you're not doing anything or very much in any of those buckets, I guarantee you, if you focus on these 3 and you really level up the game of the business and yourself and get better habits around this, you will see a return on that time and ad spend. Okay, number 3, one of my absolute favorites, because I know it's such low-hanging fruit and it's such an opportunity. In the service-based business and many other industries, verticals, and niches, no question, the follow-up process in the sales process is generally terrible. It is not good enough and not fast enough. Recently, I became aware of this company that hires one person, $60,000 a year, and all they do is respond to incoming leads inside 30 seconds. That's their entire job description. The templates on how they respond to people have all been figured out, and that's all that they do. And this company, by the way, only gets 2 to 3 leads every single day. So you can tell that they have cracked the return on investment on follow-ups from sales opportunities or leads inside 30 seconds, that it can more than pay for a $60,000 salary when there's only 2 to 3 leads coming in. That means they're increasing their close rate at such a great level that they're getting a return on that program. So that's kind of an extreme case, but we need to be aware of the return on investment of a good follow-up strategy, whether it's inside 30 seconds when a lead comes in, or it's a longer nurture process that maybe takes days, weeks, or months. We need to define the entire follow-up process in a standard operating procedure, so SOP, for the entire customer journey, with multiple points where a customer can get off that customer journey and purchase. But until we define that, we don't know what systems and automations and resources to implement into the business until we've done this exercise. So instead of following up with customers, days or weeks later and having such a low conversion rate on these leads into real sales opportunities that can go right into the pipeline, let's solve the process. So let's map the process out. It's a whiteboard session. It's not that difficult. Let's get that done. And then let's figure out who do we need to involve in the business. It's inside the business or outside of the business in order to make sure that this happens. And you will get a return on that investment if you can solve your follow-up strategy. Number 4, and I can't even believe this is on the list. Number 4 is a weak online presence with no social trust. Yes, that's still happening 2025. So we have in the service-based business, we have a website that is not converting. The fact that it's not converting is that it's not a good website. That's how you tell. There's like multiple ways to measure a website. We could look at it in one very simple way. If your website is not converting enough of the traffic that is getting there, then your website is not good enough. Does it express the problem that your customer is facing? Does it have empathy for that problem? Does it outline the solution on what you do to remedy that for them in great detail? Does it have customer testimonials? Does it have reviews to make sure that people are aware of what you do, what problem you solve, how you solve it, and why you're so great, and what other people say about you? Do you have Google reviews and Facebook reviews happening? Are you posting organic content with all of these types of topics as well? Well, if you're not doing that, it's low-hanging fruit. You can start that today. Let's get the website solved, and let's get the social media and reviews process going. This is something that is probably surprising that it's still such a problem today. But number 2, because it's such an opportunity for your business to really stand out. And again, going back to number 1, differentiate yourself from the rest of the competition. Okay, number 5, you're not charging enough. Your pricing model is broken. So we need to make sure that we're not just pricing based on what the competition is doing. From one of the earlier steps, we already figured out that we're going to do a really good job of differentiating ourselves in the market. We're going to do a really good job with our follow-up strategy. We're going to do a really good job of expressing why we create more value than any of our competitors do, which makes us unique to all competitors in the market. So we're already going to do that. So therefore, your pricing model is definitely broken. Instead of pricing on comparisons in the market of competitors, let's use that as one guide rail. But the other guide rail that we need to have is priced around value and results. We know that we are going to give them more value than anybody else. And number 2, because of customer testimonials and reviews, our process in our follow-ups and the entire sales process, they also are going to believe that we're more valuable and more trustworthy, and the results will generally be better. So our pricing model needs to change, and we need to get more profit into the business per deal because we're doing all of these other things. Number 6, no target market. Trying to sell to anybody that could possibly buy. This is a mistake that most service businesses definitely make. And we've all had the wrong customer. It doesn't feel good. It's not fun to work with the wrong customer. It's not enjoyable for our team, our staff. It's not even enjoyable for the customer. And oftentimes we don't make very much money off them. Sometimes we lose money. So we really have to stay focused on who is our target customer and why. And then we need to make all the efforts we can possible in order to find them where they're at, online, offline, deliver value to them. And our target customer will appreciate us so much and be more than happy to pay the rates that we're charging them. And that's why we want that target customer. So instead of working with anybody that will work with you, let's take a step back, get really clear on our target client, why they're our target client, who they are, and then go after them, with total reckless abandonment until we find enough of them that we build this community and this tribe around our business of amazing people and amazing customers, because target customers always appreciate what you do. That's why they're your target. Number 7, no retention strategy or repeat customer strategy. The reason why this is a problem is if we're always putting our efforts, or low efforts in a lot of cases, into getting new customers all the time, it's like eating what we kill. It's like 30-day sprints every single month. It's exhausting. I did that, actually. I did that for the first 5 to 6 years. Every single customer was a one-off sale, and I had an opportunity to retain them or upsell them. But I was just so focused on getting new customers into the business that I totally overlooked the ones we already had. And that was a huge mistake. I wish I could go back and solve that. I left a lot of money on the table and a lot of relationships on the table as well. So around this, we want to be able to really calculate what's the possible lifetime value of a client. So we want to look beyond that sale. What can we sell them the next time? Or what can we upsell them along the way in addition to what they're going to purchase on that first engagement with us? Once you calculate that lifetime value of the customer, it gets really exciting. And that's usually what kind of points us in the right direction or motivates us to say, wow, a customer of mine, I was going to make $1,000 off a customer. But now that I've mapped out this lifetime journey for the customer and calculated the value around that, I could turn a $1,000 customer into a $5,000 customer. Well, if you can do that, you're going to start looking at your customer base a lot different. So we want to first map out the lifetime value of a customer. What can we sell them down the road? What can we upsell them along the way? And then we want to create a standard operating procedure, again, to the SOPs that maps out that whole process to make sure that we get our average customer value up from, let's say, 1,000 to 5,000 or whatever it is in your business. I guarantee there is an opportunity for huge growth on your current customer base and with every next customer that follows. Okay, number 8, not necessarily a fun one. It's actually the one I like to talk about the least, and most business entrepreneurs that I talk to, it's the same for them, and it's bad cash flow management. So if you're bad at managing your cash flow, you don't have or know if you have enough money to spend on growth. And that's why I actually care about cash flow, even though most entrepreneurs don't like talking about it. It's the number one reason why I care about it, because we might have money in the bank, but if we're not smart with our cash flow and how we're forecasting how much money we need for the next month or 3 months or 6 months or 12 months, if we're not smart about that, we don't know how much we can pull away from the bank account in order to go and get new customers. And once we understand what's sitting in the business that's called excess funds, we can look at intelligent ways to invest those funds into inputs in the business around lead generation and sales, marketing and sales. So if we can do that, then all of a sudden that mountain of money, that small mountain maybe in the bank account, can eventually become a big mountain. But we can understand the system around it, the way that we are looking at the cash flow, pulling money out and making investments elsewhere in the business, and we can feel confident that it's a good thing to do. So we got to get our cash flow management down. You bring in another resource, get a better bookkeeper, talk to your accountant, talk to a real controller. There's fractional controllers out there, and start to understand how can we leverage the dollars that we have sitting in the bank account month after month into new business. How can we do that? And that's how I would look at cash flow. And that's how I get excited about thinking about cash flow management, when it's to invest in growth, to create more cash flow to manage. And finally, here we are at number 9, and it's everyone's favorite topic. It's all about you. So the 9th reason why most service-based businesses struggle to grow is because the owner in the business becomes the bottleneck in the business. You lack systems, you lack automations, and you lack resources to be able to remove yourself as the bottleneck in the business. So we all think that we can do so many things, and it's true. But why are we doing all the things? We all have our superpower within the business. And no, I've never met an entrepreneur that has a superpower in every area of the business, that they're the best salesperson, the best recruiter for the business, for employees, that they're the best at doing marketing, that they're the best at the financial management of the company, that they're the best at customer support. That's just not true. So what are the areas of the business where you have a superpower in? And that's really where you're leveraging the business the most, or the business is leveraging you the most. We need to look at all areas, other areas of the business as like what we call $10 tasks. We need to find people that are really good at all of those tasks in those different areas and pay them to do that. So that's where employees come in. That's where freelancers come in. That's where fractional support comes in. That's where standard operating procedures can happen. That's where automation and systemization can happen. But we need to make sure that we are not the bottleneck in our own business, and we need to get out of the way of the success of the business. That doesn't mean that we're not in the business and working in the business. We're just really trying to focus on staying in our lane, right? Our lane is our superpower or our unique ability. I love that term, unique ability. Sit down, write it out. What's your unique ability? Another thing that you can do, a great exercise that I've done recently and got some really great feedback, is I sent the question about what makes me special in business to a whole bunch of peers of mine and colleagues and other entrepreneurs and some friends. And I got back all sorts of answers. It was really powerful. Overall, they said pretty much the same thing. And it was kind of what I was leaning towards anyways, but it was great validation for me to just stop overthinking that question and just say, okay, this is what I see. I got lots of people that I trust that agree that this is my superpower. This is where I'm going to spend my time in the business. And all other areas are a distraction from my superpower. And I need to find people that can help me, whether in the business or outside of the business. Let's make sure that everything that gets done is getting done by the right person, not just getting done by you. If you can identify any of these 9 or several of these 9 issues in your own business and with yourself as the entrepreneur, I really would encourage you to consider, spending some time and focusing on each one of these and figuring out what is the plan? What are we going to do? What are we going to do inside the next 90 days? What are we going to do inside the next 30 days? What are we going to do inside the next 5 days? And what are we going to do today to solve these problems? And if you need any help with any of these, I've got a bunch of resources that you can get on our website. I'll link some of them up below, and hopefully we can start to shore up some of these issues, and you will not be subject to any of the 9 reasons that most service-based businesses do not grow. So I hope this video was helpful. I know that if I could have sent this to myself 20 years ago, those businesses would have looked a lot different, and this is my gift to you.